Good morning, I'm also Parker with the Guyton Police Department. Any reason you ran that stop sign right there?
What stop sign?
The one right there at Parker's.
One that I sat there for like 5 minutes waiting for traffic after it?
Your driver's license.
I do.
Alright, mind getting it?
Yeah, that's fine. Oh, shoot. I need a debit card, huh?
I don't want that. Just give me a second, okay?
Yeah, no problem.
Alright, here you go, Mr. Harville. Please be more careful at the stop signs, okay?
I got you. Hey, man. You know I got a dash cam, right?
That's fine.
Okay.
It's a stop sign right there, and you have a dash cam. I'm going to show you running the stop sign.
Okay.
Okay. Have a good day.
You too.
In this incident, a driver named Andy Harville is pulled over by a police officer named Marcus Parker. The officer falsely accuses Harville of not fully stopping at a stop sign. Harville informs the officer that the entire incident is being recorded on his dash cam. Despite being informed about the recording, the officer continues to make false accusations and insists that Harville did not come to a complete stop. However, the dash cam footage later proves the officer wrong. It clearly shows that Harville did stop for about a minute at the stop sign and was driving safely. It is revealed that Officer Marcus Parker has a history of misconduct. He had previously been put on administrative leave from a different police department for driving under the influence. He had driven home in his patrol car after consuming multiple drinks at a local restaurant while off duty. Parker had been dishonest with his supervisors about the incident before eventually resigning and joining the Guyton Police Department. The Guyton Police Department itself has concerning issues. They lack important policies regarding the use of body and dash cams, as well as protocols for the use of force, excessive force arrests, and interactions with the public. The absence of these policies undermines citizen protection and fails to provide clear guidelines for police officers. Given these circumstances, there is a call for accountability and reform within the Guyton Police Department. The officer involved, Marcus Parker, should face consequences for his misconduct. Additionally, the department needs to implement necessary reforms for better serving and protecting the citizens under their jurisdiction. Now let's move to another video.
He's being detained right now for QX. No, I'm talking to Hernandez. I know.
Checking for an aggressive white female, unknown weapons, wearing a white shirt, blue jeans, making threats to harm herself.
Samuel Scott Jr.'s incident began when his car, a 2006 black Jeep Compass, was stolen from outside his aunt's house in Buena Vista in Miami.
¿Pero qué? ¿Tú eres un sargento? Ok, yo tengo a mi sargento. All right? Okay?
After the theft, Scott immediately called the Miami Police Department to report the incident and seek assistance in recovering a stolen vehicle. However, instead of receiving help, Scott found himself wrongfully detained and arrested by the same officers he had called. Despite being a victim of a crime, the police officers believe Scott was the perpetrator based on a description that matched his appearance. Scott, who is a black man, was wearing a dark-colored shirt over a white undershirt at the time. In a body camera footage obtained by the media, Scott can be seen telling the officers that the description of the person who took off in his car was similar to his own, but he insisted that they had the wrong person.
I went over there to see the kids and everything. My kids are...
Where are your kids?
I was with them.
Where are
They were over there. What's the name? They were over at my cousin's house. So,
When?
huh?
When?
What? I've been over there since,
11 to
what? I want to say at
11
least
to
5:30, 6 o'clock. I actually walked back over here.
You have two IDs?
Yeah.
That's not good.
Well, one is an ID and one is a driver's license.
Okay.
Right.
Scott questioned why he would call the police if he had stolen his own car, and expressed his concern for his children who were left unattended while he's being questioned.
You know what's up, okay?
Okay.
You want to buy cigarette box?
I really don't know
Bigger space.
what I did.
I really don't care, but... Alright, listen. I'm gonna reach your rights real quick. Alright?
I'm telling you guys got the wrong. I can confirm where I was and I can even confirm my activities. I recently logged off for the weekend at my job.
Okay. At what time?
Roughly before I came over here, before I called you guys. But I'm telling you, you guys got the wrong guy.
Okay. The description of the guy that took off from your car is just like yours.
The officers proceeded to charge Scott with several offenses, including leaving the scene of an accident, false reporting of a crime, failure to carry a concealed weapon license, and possession of marijuana. However, these charges were later dropped by the Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office in November 2021, indicating that there was insufficient evidence to pursue the case against Scott.
To the time, I really just jumped out of the car to go see. That's it. If you want, like I said, we can go. Like, I had my kids and stuff like that, dropped them off, came over to say hi. And I don't know what happened. I mean, like I said, I know the people that stay across there, over here, all over the place. I don't know what happened. My car somebody jumped in, drove off. And I'm sorry, but I'm telling you, I didn't do it. I mean, literally, I mean, why would I call the police? I mean, I called because my car is stolen. I mean, how me and my kids are going to get home? My pillow, my work ID, my work stuff, all of that stuff is in there. Why would I? That's why I'm like, why am I in handcuffs? And if I'm calling them and I'm...
Just give me a second. You never been arrested before?
No.
Sure about that?
Yeah. Never been arrested. Ex-military. Never.
As a result of this wrongful arrest and detention, Samuel Scott Jr. is now suing the Miami PD and 5 specific officers involved in the incident. His lawsuit alleges unlawful search, false imprisonment, and unwarranted prosecution. Scott's attorney is seeking $500,000 in damages for the physical, emotional, and reputational harm caused by the incident. Let's now move to another video.
You ready? For what? Wait, he didn't do anything! For what? That's why you touching my son! He's in the car! My son is in the car! I don't want you to look after him! My son is in the car! No! Yeah, that was me! No one's gonna be hurt, just get out the car!
In this incident, the London Metropolitan Police pulled over 2 world-class athletes, and they have been accused of racial profiling. One of the athletes is Bianca Williams, a member of Great Britain's sprint team. According to Williams, the police officers approached their car aggressively and seemed ready to break the car window within seconds of their encounter. Ricardo dos Santos, who is Williams' partner and a record holder in the 400-meter event, denies the allegations of cannabis possession made by the police. He expresses feeling hurt and fearful as a result of the incident.
Guardale con la pistola che le punta.
Sì, basta che non appuntati qua, non ci voglio
Lo sto
molestare.
puntando, lo so che cosa sei, lì che sei. Fatti papà, fatti.
No, basta che non sparano.
Una
Che...
macchina nuova quella, lì che sei. Che c'è.
One other video surfaced showing AC Milan's Tom Way Bakayoko being detained and searched by police officers who had firearms drawn.
No, le vedo, le
Le
vedo.
punta, oh.
Le vedo. C'è una visuale precisa proprio.
Ah, pensavano che fosse loro, che fosse...
However, Bakayoko was released after the officers recognized him as a famous footballer. The Milan police initially claimed that the check on Bakayoko was conducted with high security measures and justified by the context of the operation. However, they later apologized and released Bakayoko after realizing his identity. The police statement mentioned that the check was carried out in a manner consistent with the perceived danger, but the officer's shock upon recognizing Bakayoko suggests a potential misunderstanding or error in judgment. On December 13th, 2022, Officer James Hinkle, a member of the Waterbury Police Department, found himself in the midst of directing traffic in Waterbury, Connecticut. This was in response to a mechanical failure that had occurred at an intersection, rendering the traffic lights non-functional. The sequence of events that ensued was recorded by the dashboard camera installed in Officer Hinkle's police cruiser. This footage will take precedence, followed by the recording from Officer Hinkle's body camera. Throughout the incident, Officer Hinkle persistently asserts that the driver was attempting to collide with him. However, upon reviewing the dash cam footage from his police cruiser, it becomes evident that he moved aggressively towards her vehicle as she passed by. Additionally, he can be heard telling her that she's fortunate not to be in handcuffs at that moment. Officer Hinkle proceeds to request another officer's assistance in completing a citation for 2 infractions: failure to comply with an officer's instructions and reckless driving, both falling under Section 14-223 of the Connecticut General Statutes.
No!
Alright,
This means stop!
I-
This means stop!
I didn't see that until I was already past.
And then you still drove by me!
I'm so sorry, sir. I didn't.
License and registration now!
Hold on. Sorry. Give me a second, okay?
No, license and registration now!
Okay.
You almost ran over an officer standing in the middle of the street.
I'm so sorry. I didn't realize what was going on. That was very confusing.
It's a bright yellow jacket standing in the middle of the street. What don't you understand?
All the other cars were going.
No, they weren't. You were the only vehicle coming from that way. You almost ran me over in the middle of the street.
This section delineates the offense as failing to halt when signaled or disregarding an officer's directives. It stipulates that if a motor vehicle operator fails to promptly come to a complete stop when the signal of a uniformed officer or an officer with a prominently displayed badge, or if they defy the officer's instructions pertaining to vehicle operation, they will be considered to have committed an infraction. Moreover, Officer Hinkle cites Section 14-222 of the Connecticut General Statutes, which outlines the specifics of the reckless driving offense. Subsequently, the driver received a citation but was permitted to depart from the scene. However, the charges were subsequently dismissed. This event prompted an internal affairs inquiry into Officer Hinkle's behavior, leading to his immediate placement on paid administrative leave on January 9, 2023. Following the investigation, it was determined that Officer Hinkle had breached departmental policies through his actions, conduct, and demeanor.
Let's do a pickup.
What is such an important factor that me standing in the middle of the street,
Sir, I
stopping you, and you try to run me over?
Sir, I swear.
And then you looked
I
at me,
didn't
you
try-
waved at me, and then you kept going anyway.
I swear I was not trying to run you over. I thought you were. The cars were going.
I'm telling you to stop in the middle of the
didn't see
street,
your
and you
hand.
wave at me and keep going.
I saw your hand before, and it was too late to stop. And
No,
I
it
put my
wasn't.
hand
You
up
were doing
saying,
10
"I'm
miles an
sorry."
hour, and you still drove by me.
I'm sorry.
You didn't even attempt to stop your car.
Sir,
You're lucky you're not in handcuffs right this second.
I'm very sorry, sir. I really.
Explain to my kids why they don't have a dad a week before Christmas, because you're trying to run somebody over.
Consequently, on January 9, 2023, Officer Hinkle's employment with the Waterbury Police Department was terminated.
Before Christmas.
Sir, when I see a flashing yellow light,
It's not flashing, it's red and blue.
It was
That's a cop car standing in the middle of the street flashing lights. No, it's not an accident. You're just being irresponsible. Street. And then waves at me and still tries to drive by me. Run her, please, and make sure she's valid. A week before Christmas, I almost get ran over.
All right?
Yeah. I got 2 kids at home waiting for me to come home tonight.
sir, I'm very sorry. I felt.
Sorry doesn't break it. You looked right at me and still decided to drive by me.
I was in the middle.
No, you weren't. I was in the middle of the intersection. Are you hurt? Emotionally.
Chief Fernando Spagnolo, in an official statement regarding the termination, emphasized that Officer Hinkle's conduct during the encounter with a member of the community was unacceptable. Here comes our next investigation. June 11, 2018 saw Deputy Duriel Aiken from the Pasco County Sheriff's Office detaining Dr. Catherine Coker on suspicion of running a stop sign close to her residence in Wesley Chapel, Florida. It's worth noting that Dr. Coker managed to reach her home before Deputy Aiken could initiate a traffic stop. Upon reaching her home, Deputy Aiken parked his cruiser on the street and proceeded to approach Dr. Coker after she had parked her vehicle in her driveway and stepped out. Deputy Aiken communicated to Dr. Coker that should she choose to conclude the traffic stop and enter her residence, he would proceed to arrest her under charges of obstruction or what is commonly referred to as resisting.
I don't need a video. I saw you do it.
No, you need a video.
No, I don't. I saw you do it.
We'll be going to court because you did not see me do it.
Okay, you say so.
Okay, I do say so. You guys have been targeting me and targeting me and targeting me because all the neighbors complain, and I'm not doing anything. I don't know, whatever. Write me a ticket for my insurance. I don't know. I
Can
can't
you
pull it up.
log into it? Or no?
I don't know. I don't know how. I have no idea how to do it.
So it's AAA?
Yep.
Okay. Well, just do me a favor. Just hang tight till I'm done, okay?
Yep. harassment.
She was hauling.
This action is in accordance with Section 843.02 of the Florida statutes, which states, whoever shall resist, obstruct, or oppose any officer in the legitimate execution of a lawful duty without resorting to or causing physical harm to the officer's person shall be charged with a misdemeanor. Dwayne Eddie Coker, Dr. Coker's husband, and a detention deputy with the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office during that period, inquires Deputy Aiken about the situation. Deputy Aiken proceeded to brief him on the matter, explaining that he witnessed Dr. Coker disregarding a stop sign. This observation is consistent with the provisions outlined in Section 316.123 of the Florida statutes.
Okay. Hello, sir.
How's it going?
Not bad, yourself?
Good, good. I'm Eddie Coker.
Deputy Aiken, how you doing?
Hey, man. Yeah, I work for HCSO.
Okay.
So I'm trying to... What happened?
She ran the stop sign.
Constantly call on me. I did not run the stop sign.
Did you have something showing her running the stop sign, or?
I saw it.
You saw it?
I saw it.
He didn't see it.
In this scenario, Deputy Aiken's testimony would likely hold legal weight and could potentially be enough to establish that Dr. Coker indeed ran the stop sign. However, it's important to acknowledge that a court might also consider the possibility that Dr. Coker's account is accurate and could find her version of events more credible than Deputy Aiken's.
No.
Relax.
No. It's harassment.
Well, as you can see, that's probable cause to do the stop.
Absolutely.
If she wants to take it to court, if she can take it to court, that's up to her.
Is there any way you can give me a one-time professional courtesy if I show you my ID?
I have to. We've been getting complaints in Seven Oaks in general. Because of that, we're enforcing everything.
Okay. Well, I'll be sure to let my agency know that if we stop one of you guys...
Alternatively, a court might determine that there exists a reasonable doubt regarding whether Dr. Coker actually ran the stop sign, especially if other testimonies or evidence presented during the court proceedings cast doubt on the incident. Ultimately, the court's decision would hinge on a careful examination of all available evidence and testimonies. Mr. Coker subtly implies that he holds the position of a deputy within the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, even though he is in fact a detention center deputy without law enforcement jurisdiction. He further communicates to Deputy Aiken that if he persists in issuing a ticket to Dr. Coker, he'll take the initiative to direct his department to issue tickets to Pasco County officers whenever an opportunity arises. This stands as an alternative to offering these officers a customary professional courtesy. Deputy Aiken unquestionably held the belief that Mr. Coker was a deputy sheriff rather than a detention deputy. Mr. Coker took no action to rectify Deputy Aiken's perception and certainly presented himself in a manner that strongly implied a greater level of legal authority than his official certification as a correctional officer actually granted him. After Deputy Aiken issued the citations to Dr. Coker, Mr. Coker once again requested a professional courtesy from Deputy Aiken. During their exchange, Dr. Coker left the scene and headed inside her home while using a racial slur directed at Deputy Aiken. Deputy Aiken reiterated his stance in defense of issuing the citations. He then shared contact information for his supervisor with Mr. Coker before departing the scene without any further incidents. Following this, Mr. Coker promptly contacted a supervisor to express his grievances regarding the encounter with Deputy Aiken. In this conversation, he explicitly referred to himself as a cop. Eventually, Dr. Coker successfully contested the charges, leading to her acquittal for the offense of running the stop sign. The other citations were also dismissed. However, due to Mr. Coker's behavior during this incident and subsequent internal affairs investigation, he faced administrative charges, including misdirected action in an official investigation, misuse of communications facilities, improper use of an official position, and conduct unbecoming a member of the sheriff's office. As a consequence of these actions, on January 30th, 2020, the Florida Criminal Justice Standards and Training Commission, responsible for certifying law enforcement and correctional officers within the state, made the decision to revoke Mr. Coker's correctional officer certification due to the misuse of public position. And now let's move on to another investigation. On February 4th, 2020, Officer Kevin Munger, employed with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, was on duty as an off-duty security guard at a Publix grocery store located in Jacksonville, Florida. During his shift, Tawanda Crowell, a local mother, purchased several items from the store. Subsequently, she left the store area only to re-enter briefly before ultimately exiting the store. Publix manager Anna Augusto Bonner approached Officer Munger and informed him that she had observed Miss Crowell leaving the store with items in a bag, yet she hadn't witnessed a transaction taking place. Responding to this information, Officer Munger approached Miss Crowell, who was by then seated inside her vehicle with her 12-year-old daughter and two nieces seated in the back.
That's what it's going to come to.
You ain't seen me sell nothing.
Then show me your receipt.
I will not.
If you took it without paying for it,
I don't steal. I don't steal.
Then all
I
they want to do is not have you here.
I don't steal.
Okay, then show me your receipt.
I won't do that.
Why?
I won't do that because...
Do you realize you can go to jail for that?
Oh, I realize if I stole it, but I don't steal.
You're not cooperating.
I'm not cooperating because you ain't got no probable cause because they said something. Go watch the camera first.
Ma'am.
I'll walk back in there with you and go watch the camera. No, I'm upset because I see this every day.
I don't have access to the camera.
Officer Munger proceeded to request that Ms. Crowell provide him with her identification and the receipt for a Publix purchase. Despite his repeated requests, Ms. Crowell declined to comply with his demands. In response, Officer Munger informed her that she would be taken into custody. Officer Munger's decision to arrest Ms. Crowell was likely founded on probable cause, given the information provided by Ms. Augusto Bonner's accusation. Moreover, there is a strong likelihood that a court would recognize Officer Munger's actions as having reasonable suspicion to detain and request identification from Ms. Crowell. However, it's crucial to highlight that Ms. Crowell would not be under a legal obligation to present a receipt or any form of identification. This is a key consideration in the scenario, emphasizing an individual's rights within such circumstances.
No, everybody ain't.
Well, most of them are.
They is.
We can profile anybody.
I see y'all up here every day bothering people.
I don't bother anybody.
Whoever.
Can you just show me your receipt?
No, I'm not going to do that. Because that makes absolutely no sense at all. I'm not going to
Can I see your receipt?
If they sent you out here, that means they saw me steal.
They didn't see you go through a register
then, so
and pay.
why not do their protocol is
Step out of the car.
To go look on the camera.
Step out of the car. Step out of the car and come with me.
I'm not stepping out no car.
Then you're going to go to jail.
Officer Munger resorted to deploying his taser against Ms. Crowell, causing her to fall to the ground and subsequently restrained her with handcuffs. According to the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office Order 551, which outlines the department's guidelines for response to resistance, it stipulates that officers are authorized to use force at a level that is both reasonable and essential for making an arrest or safeguarding themselves or others from potential physical harm, resistance, or life-threatening situations.
Lieutenant.
Come on.
No.
You're going to go to jail.
No, I'm not.
You're going to go to jail.
No, I'm
yes,
not.
you are.
No, I'm not.
Then give me your receipt.
I'm not giving you my receipt.
Come on.
No, I'm
You're
not.
Going to jail.
No, I'm not.
You're going to jail.
No, I'm not.
You're going to jail.
I'm not. No, I'm not.
You are going to jail.
No, I'm not.
I'll tell you what I'll do.
No, I'm not.
You're going to jail.
No, I'm not. Call your mama.
Nevertheless, while certain actions by Ms. Crowell upon exiting the vehicle could be interpreted as potentially evasive, the body camera footage notably reveals that when Officer Munger deployed his taser, Ms. Crowell had been standing at a reasonable distance from him, with her hands positioned by her sides for a significant duration. This stance cannot be reasonably classified as active physical resistance. Furthermore, this situation would not have warranted a reasonable officer to believe that Ms. Crowell posed a threat of physical harm or intended to strike him.
Turn around right now.
What am I arrest for?
Turn around right now for not cooperating.
Cooperating?
Turn around.
I didn't steal.
Tasing you right now.
I didn't steal nothing. It is.
Officer Munger consistently informs Ms. Crowell that she'll be taken into custody due to her refusal to present her identification and receipt. However, he fails to specify the exact offense for which she would be arrested. Given her protections under the 4th and 5th Amendments in this situation, it's important to note that although Ms. Crowell displayed uncooperative behavior, she was not under any legal obligation to furnish Officer Munger with her receipt or identification. Consequently, it's probable that a court would determine that her actions could not result in an obstruction conviction. Ms. Crowell was held in a police vehicle and offered assistance by Jacksonville Fire Rescue EMS to remove taser darts. However, she preferred going to the hospital for dart removal by a licensed physician due to one dart being lodged in a sensitive area. An off-duty officer watched her children until they were picked up. Officer Munger discovered her receipt in her vehicle after her arrest, as shown in camera footage. After a 6-hour wait, she was taken to the hospital for dart removal and then to jail. She was initially charged with resisting arrest without violence, but the charge was dropped by the state attorney's office. An internal investigation by the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office into Officer Munger's conduct took place after a complaint, though the officer was cleared based on body-worn camera evidence. Officer Munger has faced 25 citizen complaints since 2004, with most not resulting in sustained findings. The Sheriff's Office purges officer discipline records after 5 years. Ms. Crowell filed a lawsuit against Publix in June 2020, which was dismissed with prejudice in December 2021 after an undisclosed settlement. Overall, Officer Munger's actions and Ms. Crowell's case involve various legal and investigative proceedings.